front tire on the Elephant, I need to get some more sealant, but it won't last a night. That's why I rode, I swear to God, I rode to the 7 Mile Bridge and back on, I don't know, 60 pounds of air. I mean, I could touch the rim with very little pressure with my thumb when I got back, and I didn't even notice when I left the house. I must not put much weight on the front of the bike. But I went to turn around at the 7 Mile Bridge where you kind of are forced to turn around or go through the pylons, and I hit rim. I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought I'd have to call my wife and come pick me up, but
you made it.
I made it home. And the other thing is the bottom bracket on that. If you
Jesus, Jack, it's your bike now. Quit complaining about it. I sold you the fucking thing. It's your fault.
If you give it a light spin, you can hear the gravel in the bottom bracket, and it won't go more than like 3 revolutions. Any suggestions?
What?
The bottom bracket. It's like.
What? Take the cranks off. Feel it by hand.
I did.
And what does it feel like?
Oh no! I took the chain off, and it's just like. It's like. No wonder I'm getting stronger.
But some of the sealed bearings have that.
I think it's Pat's idea of training. You just tighten it down a little too
Resistance
hard.
Resistance training.
I know, right?
Paul's theme. Well, hey there. The Packfiller Podcast is about to begin. You can always follow the show through Instagram, Twitter, and even Facebook if you're still into that sort of thing. The show is streamed live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific on our Packfiller Productions YouTube channel, as well as on the Podbean app. You can call the show directly from Podbean and chat along in the discussion on both platforms. Now let's get to the Packfiller Podcast. Hey, before we begin, I need to throw out some thanks. First of all, if you haven't heard this one, welcome to the podcast for the very first time. Gooder Sunglasses. If you signed up for Club Packfiller, you guys, you're going to love sporting Gooders coming up our second swag box. So you gotta be a member, and you got to be a club. No, not a club, a team member in order to get yourself some swags, because you guys, come on. It's a pair of Gooders. It's a free pair of Gooders for just being a member of this podcast, and you also get a whole bunch of other shit. So don't tell me, well, I haven't been a member, so it's not free. It's anyway, I'm supposed to be doing a sponsor read. Check out their entire line of fun, sporty, non-slip, cool-looking, and downright affordable sunglasses at Gooder.com. And if you're up for it, you can buy multiple pairs and not have to explain to significant others or even your bank account why you look so cool for so many different occasions. And you know what? I'll get to that one later. Second one, Giant Bikes, you guys. Giant continues to innovate. If there is a desire to straddle a top tube and feel the freedom that only cycling can offer, Giant has the bike for the occasion. Get to giantbikes.com, or even better, check out your local dealer today. And finally, big thanks to our newest friend of the podcast and the official pre of the Packfiller, Gemelli Coffee, you guys, home of the official pre of the Packfiller. I always said that, but I'm going to say it again. Get ready, people. The Packfiller blend is soon to be available right here at packfiller.com and also on the Gemelli site. I think if we can do that, smooth, great as a straight drip French press or espresso. Trust me, that's what I drink every freaking day now, and I'm a coffee snob. I'm an asshole about it. So hey, I seriously am. Let's do this. And I kind of sound energetic. Like
yes, you do.
I'm all hopped up on coffee right now. Actually, I am. I had a cold brew when I got home because I was really fucking tired. Okay. You guys, it's Tuesday. It is 6 o'clock. The beers are poured. The mics are hot. Beer is poured. I already said it. God, bikes are on our brains and opinions may vary. Welcome to the Packfiller, your stamp of certification of all things cycling. God, I timed that well. Did you hear the music, how I timed it right there? I'm not supposed to draw attention to it, but fuck yeah. That 2 years of broadcasting degree really helped out. I'm Pat Bulger. With me are some of my fellow connoisseurs of Campagnolo, sultans of Shimano, or plain old survivors of Sun Tour. And if you're old, you get that joke. First of all, Mr. Paul Main, how was your Saturday ride without me?
It was pretty good. So you saw the headline that I put on Strava.
Yeah.
It was a little rub in since, you know.
No, I know.
Were you out? Did you get outside?
We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Second of all, Mr. Jack Broadhead, how was your Monday ride without me?
Excellent. I missed you.
And finally, Mr. Jackson Bulger, how was your 3,000 foot of climbing ride without me?
A whole lot of fun on a heavy-ass steel brake.
So you guys all enjoyed yourself without me.
Yeah, we don't need you, Pat. In fact,
the microphones are mine. I'm taking them home.
Stay with Pat.
Screw you guys. I'm going home. Hey, you guys, major announcement. Well, kind of. I guess this is a major announcement. We're actually switching back to Mondays next week. We originally were with Mondays for a long time. Were we always with Mondays since we went live? I can't remember. Jackson, you're the statistician. Were we always with Mondays?
We went Mondays, then recently went Tuesdays, and now
we're back to Mondays. I just can't remember how long we went for Mondays. But anyway, we're back to Mondays starting next week. So basically put that on your calendar if you are a live listener. If you are indeed a live listener, hi on Podbean Live. You guys can participate in the show as much as your heart darn well pleases. So do that if you wish. Second thing, casquettes are being mailed out this week, and casquettes, which I, for honestly, a gigantic portion of my cycling career had no idea that cycling caps were called casquettes. Did Paul? You're looking at me like I'm an idiot. Well, really? You did? Casquettes.
Casquette.
Baguette casquette.
Bidon.
Yeah. You're not too late, you guys, to get in on that first swag box. Get to our website. Website? Jesus Christ. Reset button. I got to get my show back on. Get to our website ASAP and pick up your level of the pack. Pick your level of the pack and figure out which version you want to be a part of the membership. Oh my God, I got to slow down. Usually that's what I tell myself.
Coffee.
You're all hopped up.
I am. FYI, if you plan on racing, you need to be a member of the Packfiller for at least April and May to get the perks, because we're not going to let you just show up on day one and go, yeah, I've been a member forever. Or on the first race, you can sign up for a full year of membership, because getting into the races is like 3 times the value of a membership. So there you go. Also, thanks to our friends at Gooder, and I said this already, but I'm going to say it again. There's now not only a free pair coming to all team members, that's at the $10 level, but a 15% discount code that starts today and goes all the way through the end of April. I shit you not. Yeah. Get your style on for the season, just in time to match your new team kits. So you can pick a shade that kind of matches the color of the kit this year. Jack, I got to get you something new. I saw that photo you posted the other day. It was
old kit.
The greens are old. The green Gooders.
Oh yeah, is that like the toe fungus? Is that the Gooder toe fungus?
That's a little personal problem.
Something like that. They're I love them. They match my dark green or green on my Arrive jersey.
Oh, okay.
I was going for a look.
It goes by Packfiller.
Are you drawing something? Because you're really distracted.
I'm working on my picks.
Oh.
And he's filling in some of the...
Froome.
Yeah.
Should be there. Israel. I don't even know.
You're adding team.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He's already to
like
the
a
race
DS.
picks for Strada Bianca. That's a little later, Jack. Stay in the now. Stay in the now. Gentlemen, who's riding other than the rides I just mentioned? Jackson, tell me about your riding week. What has it been?
Yeah, so, wow, it's actually been quite extensive. Earlier in the week, I started with a gravel ride that turned into something more of a mountain bike ride.
Is that the 3,000-footer?
There was one before that one. This one was so muddy, and it tore my shoe cover, so I had to buy new shoe covers. That was a bummer.
That doesn't happen on the road.
Was that on your gravel bike or mountain bike?
Yeah, a lot of trees fell down here in Portland, so a stick came up and ripped the inside of my shoe cover. Then I had the 3,000 foot climb day, and then I finished one up earlier today, just kind of a usual kind of morning shift, as you could call it, loop. Stealing that from another content creator, but yeah.
I don't think morning and shift are patented, so you're okay. Right on. Jack Broadhead, tell us about your writing week. Stop doodling and tell us about your content week.
I don't have a pen in my hand.
Oh, okay.
I flipped my my ratio of run to ride back to more run because of the weather or whatever.
Fuck.
I know. I just can't ride indoors.
I'm
Move over. I know. So
What are you doing, you moron?
I just had 2 rides. But a really beautiful ride yesterday, and I was kind of surprised on my way back. I hopped on the trail about SCC, the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Icy as shit.
Yeah.
It was a 54-degree day. I never would have expected, but it was like moguls of ice. As I was doing about 25 miles per hour, I'm like,
Fenders don't help on that.
I was riding my race bike.
Oh, okay.
To use that term lightly. So very slick tires, and not the 30s with,
Yeah.
So
With
it's good.
slow leaks and a crappy bottom bracket and stuff like
and all
that.
that. But that's making me stronger, the slow leaks and the crappy bottom bracket.
So you're
I'm
saying-
starting to feel good.
You're saying I didn't take care of that bike? Is that what you're
No. I think you set me up for success by sabotaging the lack of smooth bottom bracket.
only one member of the Packfiller that I am going to sabotage, and that is Karsten Hagen. So I
Okay, all right. It's,
everybody to know that. How far are we into the show?
It's good.
Oh, we're like 10 minutes into the show.
I'm
Karsten's
about to
probably
know.
still listening.
okay. No, I'm starting to feel better. My average speed's still kind of picking up, and I need to increase my mileage. Actually, I'm starting to feel bored with 25 or 30.
Are you free this weekend?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I'm here.
There we go.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be like
How about you, Pat?
70 degrees.
I am free. I am.
Jackson,
fucking
you can't
free.
join us.
Can wear shorts.
Yeah. Well,
He's not gonna be
screw you
It's
guys.
gonna be 60.
It
62.
just said screw you. That's the closest he's come to
Wow.
swearing on a podcast.
That's the next
started.
coffee and comments. It's
Yeah,
gonna-
that is.
Screw you, Paul Main.
Screw you of the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paul, how's your riding been?
Well, I was lonely on Saturday and rode.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because somebody thought it was better to ride inside.
No,
And
it was my wife. It was Michelle's fault.
You didn't even ask me.
no, I didn't.
I was in Oakland. I was on the other side of the state anyway.
I think that's
so
what
you didn't
I
know.
was thinking.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
And then I did stairs and rollers after the stairs on
Can you help
Sunday.
that?
And then today I got a 35 miler.
Wow.
Oh, shit,
It's
you
your day
rode
off.
today.
Your
Yeah,
day
it's
off
my day
today.
off.
Nice.
I had to entertain the boys on the crew because I made it 1 year. It's my 1 year anniversary with the city.
Is it really
Yeah.
already?
Yeah.
Already?
I thought
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now
Did
they
they
can't
give you
fire me because the
cupcakes?
union's got my back. Yes. The union's got me.
Did somebody get you cupcakes?
No, I have to buy them food.
You
I
buy-
took them to
yeah.
Benedito's, and I was tempted to have a beer, but I knew I was going for a ride.
wow.
And then I went for a ride
Yep.
afterwards.
Oh, right on. Right on.
You.
I write down what I do because I have to. I did Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday indoors, and Saturday was my biggest regret. This is my last week of 4-day week rides. I'm switching to 5 starting next week because we're switching the show dates, and Monday's usually the rest day anyway, right?
Yeah.
So I'm switching to that, and then so this last week Wednesday and Thursday Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is usually my midweek ride. Monday and Friday I take off. Saturday and Sunday I'm supposed to ride. Saturday I was going to. You and I were all planning on going. We had 11 o'clock planned. We woke up in the morning, looked outside, fucking snow, and yeah. Were you in Holcomb?
Yeah. It was sunny and 46
We got
degrees.
probably
It was a beautiful day.
a half inch of snow, but it covered all the
but yeah.
roads.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you bumped it to 1, and I was cool with that. And then my wife started giving me the.
And it still wasn't melted off, so I went off
Yeah.
even later, like
Did ya?
2:30.
Yeah.
And I still found snow in some parts.
And don't get me wrong, my wife, I love her to death. She is a perfect person when it comes to this kind of shit. She knows that I have a small problem, and she looked at me and she said, "Is there any time you'd like to go look at countertops? Because we want to buy new countertops for our kitchen." And I said, "You know what? Yeah, we keep putting the ride later. Chances are Paul and I only get about an hour and a half, 2 hours in anyway. So I'll ride inside now and I'll ride outside tomorrow." And I rode inside on Saturday, and that was the most beautiful day of the whole week. And I came upstairs, and it blinded me like, you know, like I was walking out, like I was Papillon walking out of the cave, you know, after being in solitary confinement for so long. That's a really old reference.
Yeah.
And then I was pissed. And I was hungry, and I had to make sure, because while I was countertop shopping, that I would eat whatever samples the countertop companies had. So I ate a lot of Tootsie Rolls. And then Sunday, I was able to actually get out and get. I got about just shy of 50 in. I did the what do I call it? Valley Chapel Loop.
Oh yeah,
all the way around to Rockford and stuff like that. Almost got 3,000. I was trying to keep up with Jackson. And I did that, and that I felt really good. Really good. For my Strava, I'm not bragging. Fuck it, I'm bragging. For my Strava, you know, I'm not talking about everybody else's, all the other assholes who are faster than me. For me, I broke some PRs that I usually break in June or July. So I was like,
and on a solo ride.
Yeah, and I wasn't hammering. I wasn't going super hard, but I was like, okay.
Why didn't you take Paul?
Paul and I talk about riding, but usually if I don't hear from Paul by 10 o'clock, I figure his life's gotten in the way.
Yep.
Life, not
wife. Yeah.
I said
both. I know. You didn't have to say that. I know exactly what the
that is my life,
yeah,
my wife.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, gentlemen, should we get to the content of the show?
Let's just keep talking about us.
How much we suck. Let's talk about Loop. Let's talk about the racing over the weekend. First of all, I think I said that Paul and I were talking before we went on air tonight about, were these races that good, or were we just desperate to see bike racing again? Jackson, I'd like your perspective, because you weren't here, and you might have a distant idea.
Yeah, so I watched both versions of En Loop, both the men's and the women's race, and I also watched Kurna Brussels Kurna the following day. I found that for the men's race in En Loop, I wasn't expecting it to end in a sprint finish like it did. I
don't think anybody was. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that was a bit of a big shock. But I will say that I'm very proud of myself for I think 2 shows ago I said that Davide Ballerini, in case everything.
You know what? No, we're not at that point. I'm asking you fluff questions right now before you rub shit in.
I'm saying I'm just proud of that little sentiment that I said a little while ago. But yeah, so I found that race was not as exciting as I was expecting it to be. The women's race, as we well know, kind of what happened, kind of a solo finish to it. I wasn't surprised, but I thought it was more of like the traditional ending that I was ready for. I did find Kurna Brussels Kurna to be a little bit more entertaining. I didn't really know who was going to win in that one.
Yeah.
Seeing Vanderpool go off the front with that much time, or with that much time left, it was I found it to be kind of a fascinating race.
I love you, buddy, but basically what you're doing right now is I'm just saying, hey, did you like the Avengers? And then you look at me and say, yeah, Iron Man died.
Oh, I just thought you couldn't ask my opinion on it. Sorry about that.
No. I was just, seriously, I'm where we're staying is just kind of fluff right now. Was it that good of a weekend of bike racing, or were we just desperate for races to happen? I mean, you were saying you obviously got a lot out of it, and is it? I don't know. Have you ever watched these races before in your life, Jackson? You have.
Yeah, I watched them last year. Yeah, I thought they were. I think we were a little bit desperate for them, so yeah. I think they were. I think better than they would have usually been.
I think that this year I've caught myself going, every race. I want to watch every race. Now, mind you, I blew off the UAE tour. I blew it off like a bad date.
And you did that once.
Yeah, I have done that once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to relive that. But you guys tell me your thoughts of what the racing was like. I mean, was it that exciting, or am I just blowing it out of proportion because we've been so desperate for something?
I've always liked back when it was Hit Volk, before it was, Home Loop Hit Volk instead of Newsblad. There's 2 newspapers I combined. Anyway, it's a newspaper.
Yeah,
that sponsors it. So Yeah, I've been watching it for years. Whenever you can find anything, once YouTube came up, I would dig up as much as I could find.
Yeah.
Whether it's even in Russian or whatever, and still watch it. So I mean, if you did your homework, that was part of the reason why I suggested I had the Flanders Classic in there.
Yeah.
I think to me, this is nothing new. This is how I feel about the spring, how people get jazzed about the Tour de France. To me, this is everything's laid on the line every single
It's
day.
all week long.
All week, yeah.
It's
and
like
we're gonna
for the next 2-3 months.
Yep.
It's like you talked about a race today. It's like, fuck. There's a race. Is there a
Always.
race tomorrow?
no,
But,
there's some smaller
it's
ones.
like, the calendar just starts to get
Yeah.
crazy and full.
And I love the classics. At the Cobble Classics, I even like once they start hitting the Ardennes, and so yeah, I think it's exciting, and yeah, when we get to the meat of the race, then
Yeah.
some
Okay, well, let's just jump right there. First off, we failed to pick on the women's, and we also failed to pick Kuurne Brussels Kuurne in last week's show. I guess I can let us all stick with our picks, and do you think we could carry them over? Jackson, you should say yes.
we talked about that already. When you're going,
Yeah, dude, nice job. Jackson, you were talking about picking about Ballerini. Did you? None of us put him down. None of us.
Well, for Kerners, he didn't race Omloop.
For Omloop.
He didn't.
Ballerini?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
won.
I'm thinking Kerners.
Yeah. Did anybody think Ballerini would have done what he did in this race?
It was all. That's an unusual. If you watch Omloop, it is unusual to have a pack finish.
Sprinter.
It's sprinter's thing. So that's
Jackson,
why,
like you were saying, yeah.
It's because of the headwind. It was a massive headwind the whole time. That's why no one really panicked when Alaphilippe went off, and so he went off early, and everybody's like, yeah, no one's going to take that. So everybody was huddled up. A couple of crosswind sections, like they would try to make some moves. You could see them, but those are short-lived. Everybody grouped up. So
Pitcock was very strong.
Yeah.
I mean, seems like there was a lot of attacks and a lot of chasing and a pretty tough race. I mean the I mean how it ended with a sprinter and a sprint finish might have been surprising with Alaphilippe, and I think that Pitcock and a lot of these cross riders have so much. I mean, they're still peaking from Worlds.
Yeah.
So they'll be good for another week or two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking. Who was the other Ineos rider? No, sorry, I'm jumping to Kuurne. But when watching this whole thing of Alaphilippe's attack, I didn't know. He so much reminds me of
Thomas Vogler.
Tommy Vogler. Yeah, is it the Frenchman in him that just makes him do the over the top,
like everything's so exacerbated.
Yeah. It seems kind of goofy. Am I mistaken, or did I curse Mr. Christoph?
Here's the thing. Christoph last year was experimenting on tubeless tires.
Yeah.
I don't know about this year. So
I chose Alexander Christoph, I chose Casper Asgreen, and I chose Philippe Gilbert.
Gilbert was kind of there, though.
Yeah.
He was in the group, but
he was nowhere until the end, though, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I believe, Jackson, you were Julian Alaphilippe, Tom Pidcock, and Mads Pedersen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I cursed Christoph with a flat. Dismount picked Sepp Van Mark. Paul, you picked Sepp Van Mark, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, because he placed, puts him as the winner of this race.
With us, yeah.
Yeah. Are we any good at this? Should we just turn off the lights and call this?
Nobody's good at this.
Yeah.
It's bike racing.
I mean,
That's what makes
It's
it exciting.
different if it's the Tour de France. I mean, to be quite honest, the Tour de France, you can pick the top 3 going into it based
Yeah.
on the pre-races. Help me out.
Yeah,
Prior.
favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this, it's like the mentality is probably race hard. Hey, if I win, but there's always tomorrow, or there's always the next day. And it's more like the sprinter mentality at the tour, because there's a new race tomorrow, not the eventual winner.
Yeah.
So you just don't know. I mean, some climber's gonna win Flanders, because
Well, and
he's there.
that's like what was it? Vanderpool taking off with 80K, and he supposedly was going to
Let's
lead
switch
out.
to Kernet. Let's switch to Kernet. Actually, no, I don't. I want to, before I get to Kernet, Jackson, you were talking about the women's race with Anna van der Bergen and stuff like that. And I know you could probably pat yourself on the back if you wanted to and say, yeah, I knew she was going to win all along.
I always pick her.
But would you have picked her originally, Jackson?
Yeah, I think I would have. When I saw that Van Vleuten and Dijkman were kind of off the back, I figured that Trek Segafredo didn't have a strong enough team to kind of be able to dislodge the SD Works train that was going. So when I turned on the coverage and saw the race situation, I kind of figured that's where it was going to go.
Yeah, I didn't expect a solo. I was planning on something a little bit more condensed. And I guess, that's the thing about that race. But I
didn't, because of the men's. There was such a headwind with the men's. But, I mean, if it was normal conditions, how does she win?
Yeah.
She does the same thing over and over again. And their team shut everybody down.
Yeah.
Even, what's her name? Van Vleuten. Van Vleuten.
Oh, yeah.
She was... I got lost and died, and that was all teamwork. They got caught, kind of napping in the back. So, yeah.
So let's talk about Kernet versus Kernet. We didn't pick that, but for a race that's supposed to be a sprint, this was far from it. Let's get the elephant out of the room, and I'm going to probably refer to Paul on this one because you were the one who wakes up and watches things live. GCN's oopsie. GCN's oh shit, we're promising all this and our coverage has
shit the bed.
Paul, what are your thoughts on that? Jackson, did you watch it? Well, you didn't watch it live, right?
No.
Yeah, neither did I. I said that in Coffee and Comments. I'm a replay guy. But as somebody who prides themselves on watching live, what were your thoughts on the coverage, on the mistake, on forgiving them, on things like that?
Well, when I plugged on, there's a couple of times even in flow bikes where it says 6 o'clock and then it'll be delayed, or you'll hear people talking in the background. I mean, we're really at the cradle stage for
raw
us.
footage.
Yeah. And I knew it was a new app, and it just pulled up, and I didn't. I went for about 15 minutes. I'm thinking something's wrong, and then there's an interactive page. You started reading, and people are getting really, just forget it. I want my money back. I'm thinking it's $25 on the first race they did. I mean,
for a year.
on. Yeah, no doubt. And it just got ridiculous. And I thought, all of a sudden it popped up, says we're having technical difficulties. Please, we're sorry. Blah blah blah. And Daniel Lloyd on GC and Racing on Monday.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they attacked. Approached on the talking. They just say, "Hey, this is, it's growing pains. It's just one of those things."
Yeah.
And you could watch the full replay, and that's why I asked you, because it came in with about, what was it? I think it was 20K to go.
See, the replay started at like 80K.
Right before the attack.
Yeah.
It was 85K because I wanted to watch the attack. I missed the attack, and I'm doing the old-fashioned way of getting the cycling news feeds.
Refresh.
Yeah, refresh.
Yeah.
So, kudos to them. The Lesamine. Yeah, the race today.
Yeah.
That one, without a hitch, they did a good job. I liked it. They had problems with Magnus Backstead, who was supposed to be commentating, and it was being kind of filled in until he finally was able to figure that out. But
all I can say is, and I think I said this in Coffee and Comments, was to cut them some slack and sign up, because at half price, at this point right now, to sign up for half price is ridiculous. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And so if you were still upset, well, you wouldn't have signed up. Never mind. I mean, what's the point? I mean, you would have read about the fact that they dropped the ball, and not signed up. But come on, man. I mean, I don't know. Are the other races still going to be held by Flow Bikes?
So Flow Bikes. So the deal with Flow Bikes,
It's so confusing.
Flow Bikes has Flanders Classics, so they will have. I can't even remember if they have E3, but they'll have Gent Velgem.
Yeah.
They'll have that's where they had Omloop. They'll have Flanders, Runner van Vlaanderen, Schilder Price.
Yeah.
Those
All kinds.
all the ones that. So it's like each you have to. It looks like all the networks have to barter, and I don't know if they bid for it. So GCN basically got RCS, which is Italian races. If you look any Italian World Tours, theirs. NBC got ASO, which is all the French Tour de France.
In terms of Kurna, Matthew Vanderpool said he was going to be a domestique. What a domestique to go out there and start that lead out with 85K to go. I also loved Mads Pedersen's F-bomb at the end. Did everybody catch that?
Mm-hmm.
Just blatant. Jackson's like, nope, didn't hear it.
La la la.
Yeah. But was I loved. I think I like Mads Pedersen. I like him as a rider. Jackson, did you follow the end of the UAE tour? Did you follow it all the way through, or did you?
I wasn't able to watch it, but I was able to keep up with the results and everything.
Yeah, that's basically what I did too. I kind of shifted gears, and I don't mean to bash on a race, because we all need races, but I'm at the point where it was like, okay, this is good. Oh, shiny, and I went running for Belgium. I'm sure everybody else did too. So, any final thoughts on? I have to fly through Kern to Brussels Kern, because I've got so much stuff to get through today. Any final thoughts on that?
I don't know if Jackson has any thoughts on MVP doing his 80K lead.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we kind of covered it. He kind of went out, and it didn't really seem like there was a coherent plan there. So yeah.
There we go. All right, so into the news, you guys. So I have a couple quick news stories I'm going to get to, because I have to talk them because they're fun. All day I dream about Sambas. You guys remember the old Adidas joke? Have you guys seen the new Adidas Sambas that are out? And I can't wait to get somebody young's perspective on this one. You guys, Adidas has announced the next addition to its newly expanding portfolio of cycling shoes, the Velo Samba. Taking the iconic Samba shoe design, Adidas has integrated 2-bolt clipless compatibility as well as structural amendments with on-bike performance. Shoe, aimed at casual cyclists. It's more of a kind of a commuter, kind of a looking shoe.
Commuter to pick around.
Anybody want a pair?
Yep, I will.
Really?
Yeah, I would for commuting or just kicking around.
$120.
Do you commute anymore?
No, I can't.
Okay.
But I mean, even to kick around, sometimes go to the store, that type of stuff. Yeah,
$120.
$120 to kick around.
Yeah,
they're cool. I love Adidas. That's the only shoe.
I know that there are online discount codes that you can use to drop that $20 off and drop it down to $100. Jack, would you buy a pair of Velo Sambas? Velo Sambas? Did I get it right?
I don't think I would. I love Adidas stands or. I don't think I would. I don't have a reason to have them, and and to be quite honest, I'd spend $120 on a new tubular tire.
Oh, nice choice! Gotcha. Melt my heart.
Yeah.
Jackson Bulger, talk to me, Goose Man. Tell me about your thoughts on the Velo Samba, especially because, dude, you've got more style. Well, Paul's got pretty good style. Jack.
Fuck, I don't.
Jack's
Whatever.
okay. I'm still trying to figure out what age I am.
Hey, I'm still wearing shit from high school, so I don't know.
Yeah. So let's check with
Yeah.
Jackson.
I think they're cool. I think they're a really great idea for like commuters and the casual cyclist. Personally, I might be in the same boat as Jack. Unfortunately, I don't know if.
Wait, why is that unfortunate? You don't want to be.
Well,
You're Uncle Jack. You can't even be on Uncle Jack's side.
Because you run more than you bike. That's why he doesn't want to be
Jesus
like
Christ.
you.
Uncle Jack. He's not a relative, Jackson.
I'm your
Yeah.
godfather.
No, I don't know if I don't know if I have a direct need for them. I've got some Giro mountain bike shoes that are doing me just as well at the moment.
What if you're riding for tacos? Like, just hop on your fixie and ride down to get some tacos.
He doesn't have a fixie.
He lives in Portland. You don't have a fixie?
I don't. I've got.
You need a
two
route.
behind me and that's it.
You should do some. Anyway, fuck it.
Guess what? Ordered a pair last night.
Good man.
I did.
Good man.
I completely impulse bought those motherfuckers, and I ordered them because and
Were
you
you
know why?
drinking this?
No, I wasn't drinking this. But I honestly, I thought about it. And I
What
was
bike
going,
are you going to use?
You know what? Now, here's the deal. You know what I'm going to do? Because guess
Buy
who?
a fixie.
Shut up. Guess who has to be the poor bastard who has to set the courses and take down and clean up and run the entire race for the Packfiller series? Yeah, it's this guy.
No.
It's this guy. It's this guy right here. And I was thinking to myself, I was going, because I'm going to ride the courses and set and hammer in arrows and stuff like that for the courses. And I'm going, that's my in. That's my in. I can justify the shoes. Honey, I needed them.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, my wife looked at me last night and she said, don't wait for the white or the yellow. The white and the yellow are dumb. Get the black.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Jackson, you can recall this. I have a lot of problems with shorts and sneakers. I don't look
think-
good in any of them.
I think it's just a commitment type of thing. You just got to commit to it.
It's chicken legs.
I do have chicken legs, and I
Chicken
have
skin.
Yeah. Fuck you. Even though you're right. So there are those. So next story, you're telling me there's a chance. By the way, a brand name Coefficient has released a new road race handlebar with a UCI legal design, which allows for the adoption of a position similar to the recently banned invisible arrow bars, or as you call them, Paul.
Well, the Brits call it puppy paws.
Puppy paws. Puppy paws. I like that. I sent you guys a picture of this bar brand by Coefficient recently, and Jackson, you were the first one immediately to say that is a gravel brand that is fairly common in the gravel world.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how common it is, but I've definitely seen Ian Boswell on a specialized gravel bike. He has that, and it mainly, from the videos and images that I've seen, it mainly just kind of is a place to house his Wahoo computer. I don't know how beneficial it is in terms of the position, though.
I think because the tops of the bars kind of angle
And
forward.
they're going like.
And then your brake.
Well, no, I'm talking about the actual tops across.
Yeah.
It's not a parallel
No, it's
top. It's
like
going
an
out
airplane wing.
outward at a V. Yeah, and so it looks like interesting, and it allows almost that bent wrist.
And
I
that's
almost
why
said
there's
limp
two little
wrist.
handles in between where the computer is.
Yeah,
And so you can actually hang on to those. You're touching the bar.
it's a computer mount disguised.
Why don't you just hold your computer?
as Spinachis.
Yeah,
That's what a
pretty
lot
safe.
of people are going to
Yeah.
be doing. That's what a lot of people are going to be doing.
Turn your bar hoods, your brake hoods in like to a 420.
Just like
In today's race, there's a guy in there.
rentable. Yeah.
And
Or as
go with
Bike
40.
Fit Sam told me to do.
40 centimeter bars too. You just like
Yeah, and that's what this guy had. He had flare bars.
Kapanarts
they're-
is doing
and
that
they're
too.
turned in like this.
Victor
So
Kapanarts
ugly.
is doing that too. He's almost on what some would classify as a gravel bar. Yeah. Jackson's nodding
Can't
because
be legal.
you saw though it's a flared bar, narrower top, flared drop allows for that kind
you
of
can
a
sprint, but you can
narrower
also
shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah. Worth $400, gentlemen?
No.
No. Jack?
No.
No, I'm still gonna buy that Couple tubulars.
Jackson? No. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, last news story, and I believe this is going to be a quick one and done kind of a thing here. The great commentator himself, Phil Liggett, went on record recently saying Voldemort would have won the tour without drugs. I don't know if you guys saw this. I don't know if I want to talk about it very long, but because I'm tired of talking about it. But number one, is Phil covering his ass for something? Is Phil gone bye-bye? Does Phil need to go to take an old man's nap? And that's coming from me. Why now with this statement from Phil? Does anybody have something that they want to contribute to this? Why are we still fucking talking about this? Jackson? Yeah, he's like, no, I don't fucking care.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird time, I feel.
I think he certainly had the mindset and he trained hard enough. But if he wasn't doing drugs and everybody else was, then he wouldn't have won.
I think they're talking about
if everybody were clean.
Yeah.
I think he probably could have won 1 or 2, but not 7.
Yeah.
And the thing is his program, everybody was on the drug, but his program with drugs was top notch.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, he had an upper hand when it came to that. So.
Discussions about the fact that Dr. Ferrari was not allowed to work with other athletes at the time because he had a far superior program and things were better that way. I wish I knew why this subject keeps coming up. And
because he's American and we live in America.
Well, no, why Phil would bring it up?
Yeah, I think it has a lot somebody to do asked him what's the content.
But he was one of the biggest fans for 7 years.
Yeah.
So
what's a great story? Think about it. If you believed in what Lance said, what am I on?
Yeah.
I'm on my saddle 5-6 hours. A day. What are you on?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who drink that Kool-Aid. So.
Yeah. That didn't age well.
No, it didn't. Really, Nike's like, can we bury that?
Yeah. I don't mind his podcast. I don't mind that he's doing what he's doing. I don't mind that
You've listened to his podcast?
No, fuck no. But I don't mind that he's doing what he's doing, and that there are fans who care about it.
There's still pros that are very, very that you would like that are on board with
him.
Yeah,
sure.
George.
Sure.
So there's a big, a group that they probably are all on the same program. So
I just wish I understood why it keeps coming back.
It's the big lie.
We can't get rid of it.
That's the problem.
We can't get rid of it. And I don't want to get political, although Teo Gegenhardt says that cyclists can get political.
It's like grandma's potholder.
My mother made that, you fuckhead. But anyway,
I was too far off. Wow.
You see, I lost my thought, you asshole.
Yep.
So anyway,
Move on.
switching gears to Strada Bianca. Although Paul won't probably call it a gravel race.
Yeah,
would you call it a gravel race now, Paul?
It's a mud race.
No, it's a road race. I mean, a gravel race is the intentions of gravel being the focus. Well, I guess this is.
Yeah.
Would you call Paris-Roubaix a pave race?
Could be.
And they do, part of the Cabo Classic. So, I think in this situation, good bike races have selective sections of a road race. A road race has sections that are selective, that cause the selection of good riders. If you have pan flat or whatever, you have to have an obstacle. Steep hill, gravel, pave, whatever. So, I'd put gravel in there. But I don't know if gravel people would call it a gravel race.
No.
Jackson, you're the closest thing we got. Is it a gravel race?
I find it to be more of like a world. I mean, it is a world tour road race if we're really thinking about it. So I guess I would classify it more towards that end. But I do get where the gravel spectrum is coming from.
It's gritty. It's just a gritty classic. It's a tough man's dirt mud tractor pull.
It's what bike races used to be.
You want to see a good. They use those same roads in 2010 Giro Stage 7. It was epic and it was pouring down muddy rain.
Ew.
And Vinokurov couldn't even see. He was rubbing his eyes. It was, and Cadell Evans ends up winning that stage, and I think that's when he won the
Mountain biker.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly right.
Yeah.
And it was just
Gritty.
a slog. It was nasty. So
Wow.
I mean, it's a great if you're into that type of watching people suffer. That's a great stage.
I think that's a beautiful course. I mean,
or
it's a mix of wind and mud and
Mhm.
and just nastiness. Strongest survive.
First things first.
Somebody died.
we got a confession.
Somebody died.
No,
No.
I have some really sad music that I want to play. Because I want Jackson to know, everybody heard that sigh there, Jack. You know that was a microphone for you. This is for Jackson, that Peter Sagan will not be racing Strada Bianca.
Well,
It's COVID.
You okay with that, dude?
yeah, it sucks. I think we'll hopefully see him within the April Classics, which will be good. I think he's got more of a chance at that than winning a green jersey.
Yeah. So, really, you're leaning more towards the early season classics than another green jersey.
I think there are too many skilled riders out there
Yeah.
and younger riders at this point. We have Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel. They could probably win a green jersey better than he could. He's done it more times, so he's got more experience with it. But I see him now, after losing it this year, I see him more going towards a classic.
You know how much that breaks my heart to think of Peter Sagan as old?
He's
truly
past his
does.
prime.
Yeah. What is about this? Okay, so 184K for the men, 136 for the women. Cobbles apparently aren't the only killer of bike riders. Watching the fatigue of these riders, Paul, you sent me a clip of
Strada.
just absolutely just brutal. The just the wearing down of the riders on this. What is it about this race? It can't be just the gravel that destroys riders, and it's not the distance. There are other longer distance. Is it? Anybody got anything?
Well, I'll speak up. Let's let Jackson go since we
Yeah, Paul
I
always
always
points to the
contact-
computer,
yeah.
Jackson. So just so you know, he's leaning towards you.
You should
first.
point
Because
at
when
the
he's in the
camera.
studio-
You should fucking point at the camera.
Yeah,
point at the empty chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the camera's on me right
When
now.
he's in the
There we go.
studio,
You guys
we
just-
contact
you guys
him
just
at
wait.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. He knows when. So, but anyway.
Go back here, Jackson.
Yeah. So yeah, to me, it's just one of those things that, of course, the gravel sections. There's hills with gravel. There's
Yeah.
a different technique involved. There, you have team tactics, and it gets to a point just like all the, like Ronde van Vlaanderen and Paris-Roubaix, all the classics, cobble classics, is the team can only take you so far. If you're not good that day, you're not going to win. And that's what everybody says. The strongest man of the day always wins Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah.
And, guys that have flatted 7 times and they still win, that's amazing. So that's why it's a early classic. I mean, that thing started what? It's in that 12 years
Strada
old?
Bianca? It's
Yeah.
15.
15
This is
years.
its 15th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And already it's up there with, I think it's above Omloop even, which is
Yeah.
older, way older.
So I sent everybody a preliminary start list. Jackson, you got it, right?
Yep.
And we have the starters that are available. Are we all going to stray away from the obvious picks, or are we all just going to basically just knock each other out and hope that we're close to right? Does anybody have any picks that don't include, I don't know, Mathieu van der Poel, Tom Pidcock?
I wouldn't pick him.
Oh, really?
wouldn't
Okay, so there we go. Okay, there we go.
Wow, I will, because he's raced it 3 times and he's been on the podium all 3
Done
times.
Really well. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's do a pick here. Paul, do you have your 3?
Yeah, I was
course he
looking
does.
for Wout, as I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
Roman Bardet. He loves the
yeah.
classics, and he's got second ones. And then I'll have to go with Stybar if he's on the list.
And
he's already won it
He
before.
is on the list. Okay. Now they're cursed because we suck here.
Yeah.
Jack is scribbling randomly on the paper. Jack, Jackson, do you have your 3 ideas? Do you have where you want to go? I
do. Only one of mine is the same as Paul, so I have Wout van Aert. I also have Tom Pidcock. I thought he showed pretty good form in the last weekend.
I agree.
And then Julian Alaphilippe as well.
Which was he's won before.
Those are, and I should just repeat what Jackson says from now on. Although I would ruin Jackson's picks.
I'll take Paul's. You take Jackson.
Yeah.
But the winner will be cursed by Pat.
Oh yeah. So I should just pick just like random people. Jack, do you have any
Do I have a
choices?
pick?
Yeah.
Greg Van Avermaet is going to
Avermaet?
win. Yep. He's going to win.
Avermaet.
Woot and Alaphilippe. I had
Wout?
Ballerini, but Van Avermaet, Woot,
Philippe.
Alaphilippe.
Okay. We all saw that Quinn Simmons is in it, right? Everybody.
Oh, that's cool. I'm ready for him to watch him race. I'm putting everything behind him.
Quinn Simmons.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
He's young, and if somebody, I said some shit that hopefully somebody's forgiven me. I'm sure when I was 18, 19 years old.
You're forgiving him. Wow. Okay.
Well, and we'll see.
A lot of
if he
people's
starts opening
needles
his
just came off the record.
Do you have one?
I wanted to say
I was like, oh, I love this
Chloe
podcast.
Dygard on the same page with Chloe. I'll give her some leeway.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
I am looking for Bora. Where's the Bora?
Borat.
Bora Hansgrohe. We're looking at Bookman, Patrick
second
Conrad.
page?
First page.
He's
And
got
Ben
freaking
Schweihoff.
cartoons all over.
Schweihoff.
No,
Oh, sorry, you can't see my.
Jack drew all over the page.
See? Maybe want to see my picks.
no Niels Pollitt.
Oh, jeez and rice.
No Niels Pollitt on there.
Not yet.
Okay.
At this phase,
Mark my word,
Ballerini's starting.
Yeah.
David Ballerini.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was-
I don't think he's going to come to a sprint.
Nah, I don't think so either. Nobody
He's a
on
big
Israel
dude.
Startup Nation
Man,
is
he's
listed.
really big. I was like, whoa.
Greg Van Avermaet is always up there, and I haven't picked my riders yet, but Greg Van Avermaet is always up there, and I would love to see him win something, so I'm not going to pick him.
Thank you.
So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick riders that
Pick everybody's third place.
You're going to pick Quinn Simmons.
Yeah.
I'll pick Quinn.
And Julian.
Quinn Simmons, because, I don't think he's going to do it.
Froome.
Froome's not in it,
I know.
you dork.
Wrote him in. He's a writer. Big Mickey Mouse.
You know what? This is that I'm going total Costanza on this. This is when these riders are going to win, because I'm finally just saying, you know what? I'm going to pick the riders I wouldn't normally pick. I'm going to pick Tim Wellens.
I was staring at him when you said that.
That's not a bad
amazing.
pick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pick somebody from DeCoinic Quick Step. I'm going to pick Stibar.
I'm bummed that my buddy Tej Benoot is not on the list.
Yeah. And
So
so Paul, I believe after this, our picks so far this year, you are leading, correct?
Yeah, I
Jackson,
just
do we count Jackson's Kern and Brussels Kern?
well,
as a
we
win?
didn't do that. I would have given you.
Nah, we can't. Yeah. So
I mean, I was thinking,
he's
are we
like,
gonna,
wait, but wait.
it was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one day, right?
Yeah.
All right, you guys, let's get to the topic that I was supposed to talk about last week, and here we are 53 minutes
All
into
right.
the show already. So the topic of the show, brought to you by our friends at Mojo Cyclery, Spokane's Gravel Source. I do want to mention that they also do stock road and mountain parts and bikes, and their service is second to none. If you were a Club Packfiller member, you get a 15% discount on everything but bikes and trainers, because there's no markup on that stuff. So buy a bike from them. And you might walk out with a brand new custom in-house sticker to separate you from the rest. Look for our upcoming Gravel podcast series featuring the Mojo crew. You guys, I want to talk about cycling addiction. And I mean this. I mean this seriously. Think about your life. First of all, and Jackson, you know what? You're an entry-level addict, so I want you to participate in this 100% too. How many bikes do you own, gentlemen? Jack.
He's like he's in school. He's in trouble.
I caught you.
3.
3. You just own 3. Okay.
Just 3.
How many bikes have you owned throughout the adult years of your life?
Usually 2.
Okay.
Always 2.
Always
a mountain
2
bike and a
stable.
road bike.
Always 2 in stable.
Yeah. I've had 2 cross bikes at a time. Then I sell them, and then I have 1 cross bike. But
Okay.
usually 1 or 2 cross bikes.
Paul Main.
I currently have 3.
Currently have 3. Okay. Jackson Bolger.
I currently have 3 as well.
Currently have 3.
I got 12.
I have a lot. I do.
You don't even know how many you have.
There's 17 bikes in this house. 18 bikes in this house, but
Can't count your wives.
no, I can't count my wife's, and I can't count Jackson's because some of Jackson's. No, yeah, because your
His
mountain bike's
first
here,
bike,
Jackson.
Your first bike.
Yeah,
What else of yours is here?
that's it so far. Yeah.
Oh, one of your old bikes, your old mountain bikes, which I haven't gotten rid of yet. I count that in my stable because it's hanging
Still
from
there.
the ceiling.
Yeah, taking space.
How many do you want? Let's start with Jackson. How many bikes do you want?
I probably 4.
Yeah.
I think I'd want. I'm on the market for a new road bike. To which the one behind me would probably become a trainer bike.
You'd keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting element. Keep that in mind. I want to keep that in mind. That I would keep it for sentimental value. Okay.
7.
Jack brought it. 7. You would like to have 7.
I'd like to have 7 because I'd like to have a time trial bike. Not that I suck at time trials, so why have use it for a triathlon or something. I know, right? A track bike, a Schwinn Cruiser, skip to
Oh,
something.
nice.
Just something direct.
Classic.
For those Adidas Velo Sambas.
I right, and I need a how many is that?
You're at 3 right now.
But the 3 I currently have too.
4. You're at 6 now.
So yeah. A new plastic bike. I need a new road race.
New road bike.
Yep.
So that's 7.
At 20,
That's full on
21.
7.
Yep.
Paul Main, how many?
I'll stay at 3.
You stay at 3.
Yeah, I'll get rid of the
you have
1992 mountain bike.
Don't you have a cruiser?
No, I sold it.
You didn't sell it to me?
No, because I kept asking you.
fucking
I kept- yes, I did. I kept
Buy one
saying
of Michael
Jack,
Conley's.
Jack, and you
I'm-
kept.
Fuck it. Not even
He's not even looking at
anymore.
They're not even making eye contact.
I talked to you so many times. You said I've just got a lot going on. So anyway,
Gentlemen, how much time do you spend weekly riding, training, watching, or thinking about bikes?
shit.
Fuck. How many hours in a week?
Everybody, I have everybody's faces in front of me, and all 3 of you sighed and looked away at the same moment. By the way, I've picked the right topic.
I gotta
apparently,
pee.
Show. Yeah, I do too, but we're going to hold it because how much time per if you had to pick 10, 20, 30, 50, 75%, how much of it would be spent dealing and thinking about bikes?
On an honest level, probably 50% because I've got
50.
work and
Sure,
you're sitting
sure.
there thinking, but and I'm not even counting the dreams that I have. So my dream state and REM. So yeah, I mean, I'll get on roads even at work when I'm driving, and it's like, oh, I remember that ride, or yeah.
So, Jack, I'll allow you to answer next, and then you can go pee while Jackson is answering. Say hi to Bender.
Okay.
How much time a week? Now you've been out of it for a while.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
So this is now a new. Like whenever I get re-involved, the addictive, juices are flowing quite a bit more. So we're watching races at night to fall asleep too. My wife loves watching bike races.
It's like just one last
cool.
hit before I go to bed.
Yeah,
Just
or
saying.
one last beer.
Yeah.
So I would say lately more like 30 to 40%. Honestly,
Okay.
I do have a lot above and beyond, but nice day, I all day long I'm thinking, I just want to go for a ride, not be working.
Yeah.
So,
Jackson Bolger.
Man, it's tough to put a percentage next to it. Yeah, school, as we all know, kind of consumes one's life. Yeah, so that I'd probably say, I'd probably stay with Paul 50 to maybe 40% of the time.
Yeah.
Quite a bit going on, but yeah.
As somebody in college, as somebody who's thinking about, okay, why did I get an echo there? Suddenly I just got an echo. Okay, there it's gone. As somebody who's thinking about the next phase, Jackson, as exiting college, does a cycling-based future enter your life? Like, if you had to think of the dream gig, would it include something to do with bikes?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, I think it'd be cool as hell to be able to continue my life and continue a career with this stuff. Of course, as some of us know, I didn't go to school for that, unfortunately. But,
Nobody does.
But no, it'd be cool. I think it'd be an interesting future ahead. I don't know where I'd go into it, but whatever possibility right now is in front of me, I think that's something that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I will answer these questions too. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, because of this show, because of the network, because of all this kind of things like that. I said network. That makes me sound
nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I spend I'd 30 to 40 at least %. Thinking about it, and let's be honest. Probably half my time. Half my time. My awake hours and things like that. And you guys, this is actually a serious thing. Although we're here to make things somewhat fun. Talking about addiction, there's obviously serious issues surrounding it and what it can mean to those afflicted. So please know, and I think we've entered into the world where I have to say these things before we enter a subject. Please know that we mean no harm to those suffering from drug, alcohol, or any other damaging addiction. But that being said, let's go through the questions that would usually classify as addiction and see if we need to recognize our issues with cycling. So these, I took these from an addiction-based website, and yes,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah. So, and these have got to be rapid fires because we can't we can't go into huge diatribes about our responses about this kind of stuff. So, number one, have you ever used a bike to self-medicate? In other words, do you use cycling to calm down? Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Paul.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
So do I. Have you ever tried to stop using your bikes and failed?
Yep.
Paul. Jackson.
Mm-mm.
No?
I haven't.
You never tried to stop?
No,
Yeah, you're fully engulfed. Okay. Jack.
I've stopped.
Yeah?
So I failed?
So you did fail.
I failed. Yeah.
I have never tried to stop. Never tried to stop. Have you ever used more than one bike at a time?
Most
Okay, it's
people-
getting a little funny. It's getting a little funny.
Downtown Spokane, you always see that. You're on one
Yeah,
bike.
yeah,
The guy-
yeah.
the guy-
Towing around.
The guy on one
shoulder.
BMX bike with another BMX
I've actually
bike.
done that at a bike
done
race,
that a
taking a
couple
friend's
times, yeah.
bike. Yeah.
Yeah. I rode a tandem home by myself once.
That's weird.
Does that count?
Yep. Totally weird.
Okay. Jackson?
I've never done that. No, I don't think unless you count a gravel bike as two bikes. But
Okay. Have you ever worn out a bike before its time?
Broken it?
Just worn it out before it should be worn out.
Yeah, several.
Paul has. Jack?
I guess, yeah. Yeah.
Jackson?
nope.
The Trek behind him is in tears. Have you ever used someone else's bike?
Yes.
Yes.
Jack?
Couple times.
Jackson?
I don't think so.
I don't know if I have.
Man, you got to experience. Oh, wow. Using somebody else's. Some swapping.
Yeah.
Some bike swap.
Bike swap. Bike swap
Yeah.
club.
I have never done it, and I'm not a fan of loaning my bike out to other people. That's
Well, I've
always
never
a
loaned
line-
my bike out, but I've used somebody else's.
That's a line I don't cross. I won't loan my bike out to other people. People's
Yeah.
like, hey, can I try your bike to see if I want to get into it? I'm like, no.
Fuck no.
No, you can't. Have you ever searched online for bikes to buy? I believe we can answer that with a great big fat duh. Right?
I'm doing
Yeah.
it currently.
These are all, by the way, addiction questions that I have switched to cycling.
So are you keeping track to tell us? Oh, okay.
No, but we're answering yes to a lot of them.
Jackson has an answer.
Are you
yes.
Jackson? Have you ever searched online?
Well, yeah.
Every day of the week.
Are you becoming apathetic about previous interests, like things you were interested in earlier? Are you starting to not care because is the bike starting to take over?
No, because I always think about bikes, so it never goes away.
Yeah.
That's all I think about.
Jack, do you care
Running?
less
Does running
about
all of a
running
sudden?
now?
Yeah.
Come on, Jack. Come on.
I care less about running right
Okay.
now.
7 and 8.
You're getting there,
I
Jack.
still ran 5
You're getting
miles
there.
today, but I do care less about it.
Jackson, do you, especially, god damn, I mean, I asked you earlier about this, coming to college and stuff like that. Are you finding yourself just kind of going, okay, this is what I majored in, this is where I want to go?
No, I just hate school. I just hate going to school. is my thing.
He's a senior.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry.
You're a senior. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in a pandemic. But I used to play soccer, as we all know, so I'm not as passionate as I was one day about soccer as I am now.
Okay. Have you grown a tolerance or need more riding time to enjoy it?
Always.
You need more.
Yeah. Well, I don't get very many, so yes, of course, I need more.
Okay. Jack Broadhead.
I currently need more.
Yeah, he's just because he's pouring
Just
a
getting-
beer.
No. I'm just getting. Just thank you, Paul.
Jackson Bolger, do you find yourself desiring more time?
Oh yeah, but I take as much as I can get.
Do loved ones tell you that you have changed?
God. All my life. All my life. Different wives, different girlfriends. And all.
Yeah.
That's all you think about.
That's how. Oh,
You weren't that
really?
way when we started dating.
Really?
It's like, yeah, I've been doing this.
I'm going to answer this one before I ever let anybody else. My wife has not says I've changed. She's just like, you're always a
same
fucking
old-
lunatic. Yeah,
same
yeah.
old
No,
asshole.
and she bought into it.
Yeah.
From day one. Jack, has anybody said you've changed, especially since?
Oh
you've
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
gone- Really?
I won't go into detail. We'll save it for our rides, long rides.
Okay.
Long
I've got some
therapeutic.
stories.
long
Jackson
ther-
Bolger, has anybody said you've changed?
And
Nope.
it doesn't have to be for the bad.
No.
No.
It doesn't have to be for the bad either.
No.
Or she's evolved
No.
with you and accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
No, it's just kind of been the same kind of throughout. Yeah.
Anybody have an awkward sleep schedule as a result of training?
Yep.
Jack?
No.
Jackson?
Nope.
I sleep like a rock. I don't know all the time.
I've paid more attention to my sleep because of training. This fucking whoop strap is controlling my life. It honestly is. It is controlling my life. I am
Paul, do you
trying-
have a whoop strap?
No.
I am trying to get the Jackson has one. I'm trying to get the highest numbers possible because I want to not suck the next day,
Wow.
especially ride days. My Fridays, you guys, I'm like hardly drinking anything.
So Saturday.
That's why I
would
get
be good.
hammered on these nights. It's so messed up. Do you spend the majority of your day thinking about? We already talked about that. Do you have trouble getting through the week without writing?
Yep.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. Jackson.
That's a
Now
tough
I-
question.
now I do.
Really?
Kinda. Why kinda?
He's busy,
Is-
Daddy.
I know I keep saying it, but being in school is a full-time and more job. So sometimes there's not enough time in the day, year, week, month to be able to get through it. Unfortunately.
Okay. Let me see. Have you? I'm trying to fast forward here because I got a shitload of.
I want you to
addiction
know,
this question.
have you been keeping your personal score? I have actually failed every single one.
I have not.
Do you feel shame?
agree with everything,
Do you
though.
feel shame or guilt from using your bike too much?
Nope.
No shame or guilt.
No.
Jack.
I feel like guilt in the day pre-ride because I should be productive doing something else. So it's like a luxury. It's like eating chocolate. It's like a beer.
yeah.
It feels like I should be doing something money making more productive, but it is
You don't have
it's
a podcast studio in your basement.
Or 12 or 17 bikes either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the next question.
Oh.
Jackson, do you ever feel shame or guilt about using your bike too much?
No, I don't.
I don't either. But the next question is where I will answer this one first. Has your family ever said anything to you about your cycling obsession? Every single member of my family has said something to me about my cycling obsession.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the family member. My parents,
Positive or negative?
Yeah, my parents are like, love it. It's great.
They got you into it.
Good to go. I have had some people look at me going, fucking really? You know, my brother-in-law came in here the other day and walked around the basement and just was like, dude.
What's your problem,
Really?
dude?
Nah, he's a funny dude.
You got more bikes than I've got guns.
Yeah. Chip, my brother-in-law, I can say his name. I'm not going to say his full name, but he came in here and was like, wow, you got a lot going on down here. And I was like, yeah, I do. I admit it. And he's the same way in his certain ways. Jackson, has anybody ever said to you about your cycling obsession?
You know, it's funny. They've always said it to you, but never to me.
All right on. I'm throwing up a big wall. Anybody skipped out on responsibilities to race?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Not so much now, but
Yeah? Back in the day?
remember I was married once. No, twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you beat.
Yeah.
Have you had legal or work issues because of racing or riding?
Work issues.
Work issues with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Work in
Jackson?
school.
No, Jackson's not.
I haven't.
I got two problem guys across from me. Have you
Work
ever,
in school. I was, the fall, winter, I was good. The spring, summer, I was
have
bad.
you ever
Okay,
gotten into a
finished.
fight brought on by a cycling-based discussion?
Not a discussion, but I've got
Done a fight on a bike?
Jackson, you and I can just slowly walk away from this conversation.
I'm an angry crit rider.
Have you ever broken the law to obtain cycling bliss?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's pretty. Other than the park ranger, that's pretty safe.
Have you experienced medical
for Roger.
issues brought on by cycling?
Drink.
He said Roger.
Say that again.
Have you experienced medical issues because of cycling?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Everybody's Jackson's nodding. Yeah, your knee, right, Jay?
Stitches.
Yeah.
You talking
Stitches?
stitches?
No, Jackson's. Jackson
No.
had
Are
a
you
knee
talking stitches?
inflammation.
Are you talking just like a crash or
I'm
what?
talking medical issues,
Yeah.
man. You had to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Torn hamstring, broken collarbone,
Nope.
separated AC joint. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
God, you're on the ground a lot.
I'm full
You and
gas.
Carson.
Okay.
Yeah.
My last question, and before we get to these responses, have you ever experienced withdrawal symptoms when attempting to stop riding or racing?
Every day.
You have.
Yes.
Jack,
No.
you didn't experience it when you left racing.
Withdrawal? I think I get to this point of mental burnout, and I don't know that withdrawal comes with that. I think it's like a
You're admitting you have a problem.
in this
you walked
instance.
away.
I have a problem.
When I left cycling in college, I switched to rowing for a long time and things like that. I remember,
row your
yeah,
boat.
there was a very solid amount of time that I would not attend bike races. I couldn't go. I wouldn't let myself go because
It's
I would
hard.
get too anxious about it. Like
Yep.
I have to be there. I have
Yeah.
to be racing. I
Yeah.
have to be a part of that. It was a part of my life for so long. And I guess my point here is, and this is where I tend to take the conversation a little bit towards the serious style, is looking at these responses. There is a classified exercise addiction, and is there a classified one here? And no, I don't think there is. It's not. You classify addiction as when it becomes an overwhelming power in your life. But is it an overwhelming power in our lives? Here we sit here at once a week talking about a sport that we are obsessed about. We ride. We think about at least 40 to 50% of our time a week. Exercise addiction classified by Healthline is obsessing over the behavior, engaging in the behavior even though it's causing physical harm, engaging in the behavior despite wanting to stop, and engaging in the behavior in secret. Those are the classifications of addiction. Has anybody willing to stand up and say, Jackson's probably off the hook because he grew up in a house of addicts? Mm-hmm. Is anybody willing to say, no, I'm not an addict?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
Yeah. So it's so interesting to think about it, to think about what some people classify as a healthy pastime.
I was going to say healthy interest is how I feel. I mean, I guess I'm pretty well-rounded in my life, but
yeah,
Paul's not.
No.
he's off the hook.
I've had several girlfriends and an ex-wife that really said I have a problem of obsession and with it, and it's there isn't anything in this world. I'm pretty minimal of the things that I'm passionate about. Traveling, I love traveling, and I love racing bikes.
Yeah,
and that's all there is to it. But I think it's a healthy obsession or an addiction.
Yeah,
it's not heroin. It really isn't.
Yeah, and exactly. But it can, when it gets to the point where you're sacrificing relationships. Yeah. That's where there's a problem. And so I've had that problem before. Currently. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm reading this article. I'm thumbing through this article, and please don't think I'm blowing you off.
No.
How can I prevent exercise addiction? Prevent exercise addiction. Avoid excessive trips to the gym. Limit your workout time and the amount of daily exercise. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like the opposite of like people should get up off the couch. It's like, oh, you've gone too far.
But that's
kind of bullshit. It's
like, we can agree that there is a level of extreme on both ends. But I mean, would you rather be one as opposed to the other?
I think it becomes an extreme when your significant other is not on the same page.
Yeah.
So like, I have a running wife, and yesterday was a gorgeous day, and I come home 2 o'clock, and I'm like, God, I really want to go out for a ride. And she's like, you should go. And I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah. But she's a runner. She gets it. She gets. She understands.
She's not standing there with a needle going.
And she's not going. Well, fuck.
You want some juice? Let's ride the snake, Jack.
Or you don't want to be. You don't want to hang out with me. You want to go ride your bike. And that's where it does. You know, it's like if you're not on the same page, then it becomes an issue.
Well, and it's helped me in even with my wife. She got back into running. Mm-hmm. So. And that has been, it's allowed me to have more freedom on the bike. Where, if you have, it doesn't have to share with cycling, but that exercise, golf, whatever, tennis, that takes them away. Yep. But if you're not, before she was just at home.
Well, and there's guilt. And like if your significant other is not active, then there becomes a guilt. Like, well, you're out, I lost 5 pounds in the last week and a half, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Nice job.
Yeah. It was the cycling, not the running, because you've been running up to that point. Think about it.
Yeah, it was actually the protein. We're like ketoing out for about 2.5 weeks. I'm drinking all the alcohol I want, but that's not very keto. But
quit drinking that Charles Shaw shit I saw in your picture.
Wasn't that shitty? Is that why you're calling me out?
Yeah.
It was $3.99 a bottle at Trader Joe's.
I understand. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, but it was good for. I know. It was good for I was out of beer. That's my honest answer. I was eating a T-bone and I was out of beer.
Speaking of addiction.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jackson, on somebody who's just kind of, what the fuck have I got myself into? And you in a relationship, do you find yourself having to not sneak away, but is there ever any animosity towards any of this?
No, to be honest, there really isn't any at all. How I think in my relationship, we both kind of look at each other and we know that each other needs our own specific things, and that doesn't need to be the exact same thing. I know that there are in a lot of cases that people need to be kind of having the same activity, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that works for you, then that is all I could hope for and more. But I think knowing that we don't always need to be together to enjoy ourselves and to live out our passions is something that we have really both kind of taken advantage of. And 5 years later, looking on to 6, so
Wow.
it's worked pretty well for us.
You
so
guys
far.
are wise beyond your years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect that from a 21-year-old.
I know.
Not at all.
Well,
Nope.
They obviously don't drink.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
not fucking up.
but seriously,
that's
that does not remind me of that high
He
school.
did. By the way, his eyes did shift to the far side of his computer
So he's
at
lying.
that time. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
being told what to say.
Yeah.
There are cue cards in the background. He's being programmed.
No, that is
Jackson,
that's
blink
good.
twice
Very
if
good.
you need help. Blink twice if you need help, Jackson.
She didn't mean to. She loves me.
He keeps drinking out of that vanilla Coke because he's searching for answers in the bottom of that can. I know it.
How come he?
no.
Daddy's here for you, Jackson.
No, I'm serious about that's
Yeah,
it's awesome that you're both on that page.
Yeah.
I probably was like that when I was 21, but the girlfriend wasn't, and that's where you have a
Yeah.
problem. You know.
So, what do you say to the person who's listening to this show, who is I mean, we have all extremes. We've probably got people who listen to this show who live their life on their bikes. They love them. They have that relationship. We've got people who probably live their lives on their bikes, and it is straining their relationship. We have people who might just kind of think, dude, I'm just shit. I thought this was about motorbike racing. But what's that fine line? What's the line that you can walk? We all are walking different lines. I have 18 bikes in this house. I have a podcast basement. I have all this kind of stuff. I'm trying to do all this kind of things. I'm putting on races. My wife just looks at me and goes, "Cool. How much it cost?"
Can I buy a new couch?
Yeah. She looks at me and says, "Can we go counter shop?"
Right,
You can do your shit with your But what's that fine line? Does anybody have it?
That's a individual base.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
And whoever you're with, and obviously Jackson and his significant other have
Yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah.
And I'll have to have him when he's
He's
back
gonna be
here counsel my wife and I. So, yeah.
Some of us old fuckers.
Yeah. We didn't do it right.
2 or 3 shots at it. But
Also-
Go, Jay.
I was going to say, I also find that there's a fine line between a passion and an addiction that I think also
Yeah.
is something that's pretty important, that whether you love something so much and you feel like you want to spend your time doing it, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad habit in a sense, but I think like we've all been talking about, it can verge onto that. And I think, yeah, Paul, I think you put it perfectly. It's all personal, and I think if you feel as if it's getting to a specific point, then I think a conversation is all.
Yeah, communication.
Begin it.
If it's you or me or the bike, that's a
Yeah.
You've gone
Yeah.
too far.
Yeah.
I mean, so you should be talking about it.
Yeah.
Talking? Oh, that's my problem.
Talking.
Put
I'm
your
too
feelings.
tired. I just did 6 hours.
the words.
Can we do it after, tomorrow?
Yeah.
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 Before my
The
ride.
words, all the words.
To quote Phil Collins, why can't it wait till morning?
Yeah.
Nobody got my music quote in Coffee and Comments this week, by the way. Nobody has got it.
What? Say it again, because
Should I just give it away and not give the sticker to anybody? Okay, I woke up that morning thinking, strolling along country roads with my baby. It starts to rain. It begins to pour.
No, I didn't.
Without an umbrella, we're soaked to the skin. I feel a shivering up my spine.
Michael Bublé.
I feel the warmth of her hand in mine.
Sammy Hagar. This is
Ooh, I feel laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with
Laughter
the one
in the
I love.
Rain, isn't it?
By
I can't remember. No, not. It's one of
Air
those
Supply.
cheesy bands.
He is a big Air Supply fan. I know.
It's
he
not
is.
Air Supply, you
He's a
motherfucker.
fucking big.
Although I did go to that concert with my mother.
I know.
It is Neil Sedaka,
Oh.
so nobody can
Neil
answer it.
Neil
Nobody can
Sedaka.
answer.
Yeah.
Nobody
Just
can
as
answer.
bad as Air Supply.
So
I already have
before
a sticker.
before we end the show, let's get to Watch This with Professor Paul. So, Professor Paul, I need to give you a theme. I'm going to make you a theme for next week, and it won't be disco music.
Do you think think this will last though?
Something from
'Cause
Star
fucking-
Trek.
I know it'll last because I know how much YouTube you watch.
Well, I'm talking about other people carrying. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'll tune
No,
out.
I love the homework. So last week's selection was
The Flanders Classics.
absolutely the
Strata
Flanders
Bianca,
Classics.
right?
Yeah.
And-
No,
yeah.
well, the new one
The-
was Strata Bianca.
Yeah,
You
that
said
was just
on
for-
a side note.
Yeah, that's a side note, so people can get primed. And I thought maybe he could post it because it's coming up. And
Social media posted the Flanders Classics rehash of 2013.
No, 15.
15. And I want to know if it was anything other than the fact that I was watching it going, did they get the copyrights for all these songs?
I love the music.
Number one.
I loved it.
it was so European.
I'll show you how.
I don't remember that one.
now. Did
that
I
your
watch the wrong
singing
voice?
voice?
Oh,
for-
go with me now.
That's a Sesame Street singing voice.
I'm going now. Hey, I'm going to get out of my garbage
What
can.
was the one boy? The first one. I just it's
Home
like,
Loop.
this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Trying to
So,
spit all over the console.
anyway.
So anyway, it was a highlight reel. Was it simply to just kind of say, "Fuck it, I'm going to give you guys a preview of all the coming attractions to get you excited"?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
But also to look at it like this is do or die, and the very first one was,
Yeah,
let's see what you guys took from it, and then
I
also,
took it as a
just a pre.
how did they
nothing.
save this? How did they get this?
Did you
music?
find anything unique about? Did you find like, oh man, like
so the
stage.
commentary plus the music
He was stuck on the music.
got you.
No,
got you,
but
like,
I was
fuck,
thinking-
like I want to go back and watch. I mean,
Yeah.
you could watch this year's and probably it.
Yeah,
Maybe we need to have music to all commentary.
yeah. Jackson, what'd you take away from it?
I like looking back at the old gear and everything and how much
Gear, it's 2015, dude. I'm right at 2010.
21.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God, he's
I love looking back at that type of stuff. So just like, for instance, things have changed a lot in that time. I also remember
Yeah,
that I
nobody
loved
has
that
this.
Sky kit.
Yeah,
Black and blue.
the
I
old
used
black.
to love
Yeah.
that kit. That's kind of, those are the main attractions that I took from it.
it just
So
cracks me up.
my intentions were like like an Ohm loop since it was coming up was that you had Ian Stannard against
That
three
was
guys.
amazing.
Oh, the Mappe. Yeah,
and so I
Not
did
Mappe,
research.
Boonin and
Quick Step.
Quick Step, yeah.
Oh fuck, that was
So those guys, the thing is I like the idea that we think when you see the tour, it seems like, guys can go run the press conference. These guys are, in the classics, are shattered. I mean, they're shattered.
Yeah.
This is the top-notch riders, physical fit. And you see, this is obviously Boone's last year was 2015, and he put an attack. And I remember watching it live going, it's over. I mean, he's got this. And
Yeah.
he just died out. And I thought, if I was Stannard, how would I play that? You're screwed.
that he.
They
played
just
that
kept
card.
attacking
Yeah.
Tepstra and then Vandenberg. They were just like working him over, and he was the strongest, and he came around Tepstra at the very end. I thought that was like one of the greatest moments I've seen. A 3-on-1. I don't think I could.
I don't know
You got to
that
pay
that's
extra for
ever-
that usually.
Yeah.
So the next one is Ghent Velgem, which is one of my
That was
favorite.
a total quote from Dodgeball,
Extra.
and nobody got
And
it.
what'd you say?
Nobody went
What'd you
with
say?
it. You got to
You
pay extra for
that.
that 3-on-1. Yeah, you say you got to pay extra for that.
Okay.
The other one was Ghent Velgem. The conditions.
Jackson's not even smiling. He's just like,
Dodgeball, Dad, you made me watch that 3 times. I never laughed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hilarious.
So then just the conditions, like,
Yeah.
Ghent Velgem, which is in the fields of Flanders, and because I love the history of that area. World War I.
Bones are coming up through the earth.
and just think, the wartime in World War
Yeah.
I, the conditions are awful, and these guys are riding over, blood in the
Bones,
soil.
yeah.
But you see, Geraint
Thomas
crash. Yeah,
crashed.
the wind is so bad that he's like, oh.
Yeah.
There was a number of crashes.
Oh yeah, they're just blowing
like-
off
just
the
like
road.
Side wind. Yeah.
And then Luco Paolini, before he got busted for doing cocaine,
Don't.
pointed when he
Don't
finished
bail.
was head and
Yeah.
heart. That's how
Yeah.
he won. He used his head and heart. And so
So that was a brilliant choice. And I think I said this last week with quite enthusiasm that you guys, if you're doing anything, just take 10 to 15 minutes out of your life and watch these selections. Paul's gone through this shit ad nauseum. I think he watches it.
I
just
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well,
That's part of my 50%.
Yeah.
It's a moment in time. This is not 5 hours on the bike.
No.
This is 15 minutes of fucking time.
And so what do you have for us this week, Paul?
Because Milan San Remo's coming up, I'm gonna do a it's a newer one, so it's behind the scenes. You're not going to see much racing, but I think I don't know if people understand what happens behind the scenes for the riders. We're talking directors on the bus and the preparation, that type of thing, and it's part of the Wolfpack. So and it was last year when Alaphilippe and Wout van Aert went head to head. And remember, he went over the top. Yeah, and he had this huge gap going over the Poggio, and on the descent, Wout bridged up to him. He had rim brakes and.
Well, right, and Alaphilippe's a great descent.
Yeah, he's very good.
Jackson's just letting out a wry smile. It's like, fuck you and the rim brakes.
No, you're like
the cyclocross. You know, Wout is. Yeah, it's certainly the rim brakes weren't a hindrance by anything.
No, balls. It was a pure fucking balls.
Yeah, he just rode it to the edge, and that's in the same fashion. I'm going to go back. If you're really interested in it, is I think what year was it? 89, 90 when Sean Kelly won.
Yeah,
and Marino Argentin crossed it over the Poggio with a huge lead, and Kelly never rode with a helmet.
Yes, for a helmet. Broncale helmet of all time.
Exactly. Yeah. And he caught him within 400 meters.
Yep.
And beat Argentine for the win.
Wow.
All right.
So back on that.
That's going to be our clip for next week. Mm-hmm. We are at 1 hour and 30. Wow. We got to cut down to an hour. We just got to reduce. Yeah, we got to reduce. No, we don't. Fuck it.
It's like a diet.
Jackson Bolger, first of all, thank you for being here from Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, get back here. Get back here. Quick. Graduate with honors.
With
right?
some style.
Right? With all the kind of things like that, right? Yeah. And thanks for helping us figure out our own relationships. Jack Broadhead, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Paul Main, as usual, thanks for being here. You guys like and subscribe, do all that kind of stuff you're supposed to do. Tell a friend and become a member of the Packfiller Club, because that's what it's all about. We got races, we got swag, we got all kinds of fun shit coming your way. If you are already a member, get ready. Their caskets are in the mail. We will catch you next week on a Monday. On a Monday next week.
Oh shit.